and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We're now ready for takeoff.
Here we go again.
Yo, it's your boy Marcus. I have some shit today. Gonna hear a whole lot of shit today, man. Promise, man.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Hold on.
Here we go again.
Boom, it's your boy Marcus, man. So I heard some shit today. Gonna hear a whole lot of shit today. Hello, I'm in here with my co-host.
It's Ock. I'm here.
It's Q.
And we got a very special guest today. Very special guest.
Indeed.
Very special.
Why, thank you very much.
Jesse K's in the building.
It's great to be here.
How
I
you
like
doing?
the crowd clapping in the backdrop.
Yeah, they're around. You can't see them. This is like a see-through wall right here. So they're around, but you can't really see
We're
them.
just surrounded by the legends up in here.
Most definitely.
Here we got. Shout out to the Matrix Studio holding us down middle of Times Square, hosting all our guests and stuff like that. So boom, real quick before we start anything, we're gonna jump in our prayer real quick. Dear Lord, thanks for bringing us all together in which we can share this joy, laughter, and entertainment with the world, and where we could put a smile on everybody's faces, connect, reach people, all that. Help us out. Amen.
Amen. Help us out.
Boom. Major shout out to our partners at Box Water. Box Water is a company built on sustainability.
Box.
Thank you. Built on sustainability. They provide the
Hello.
substitute.
Hello.
We got to get that. Make sure we save that. And whenever we do a Box Water promo, you're going to drop that. Just the hello. Boom. Box Water is a company built on sustainability. They provide the substitute to plastic bottle, which is Box Water. It breaks down easier for the environment. So check them out. They bless us. They show us love. Thank you.
Box.
Boom. Quick, now we got all that weird stuff out of the way. Jesse K is in the building.
In the building.
Feel me? Hello, Jesse K. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's glad to be here.
So first, I hit Jesse up to come to the interview. I asked him for what? I think it was for the next week date. Blew me off. Said, nah, man, Grammys. So that just shows, not like that in that form or fashion, but he's like, yo, I'm going to flying to the Grammys that week. So I'm like, all right, boom. I got on all these guys like, yo, we got to come with our A game. Like,
A game. He was on
game.
us.
Then everybody went to your Instagram in a group chat like, yo, got to come with an A game. So here's the A game.
Place looks good, man. Times Square. It's official. I think you guys have done a lot of podcasts, but we got a lot of staff here on this one.
A lot of staff.
Coming strong. I feel like this is a movement ready to go.
Ready to roll, man. We ready to roll. We had a lot more people in here last episode. Friday, we had a lot more people here. But so for me, Jesse K. For the people, so our fans, so your fans know who you are. Our fans, we may not be too familiar with this important man, low key but important. So who's Jesse K?
Yeah, I run a culture marketing agency. So what we do is we basically create music strategy and create buzz around product launches and connect brands to musicians and celebrities. Before that, with the same company, I was representing artists.
Okay.
So I started this agency about 12 years ago, and the first act that I represented was an artist named Mims. And he had a little record called "This Is Why I'm Hot."
This is why. This is why.
That's us right there.
My friend was managing him, and he was on his record label out of Harlem in a company called DigiWax.
Yeah.
Shot to CL, and
Shout
I
out
was
CL, what up?
moving from LA back to New York, and looking to start a new agency. And he said, "Why don't you help me with Mims?" And Mims was just starting to take off. And the song went to #1.
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
And we started putting him on tour. We put
Sheesh.
brand deals together for him, renamed him Microsoft Mims for a Microsoft partnership. And there was all sorts of deals that started to come into play.
Yeah.
And from there, I ended up starting the agency basically out of off a couch in DigiWax, and was able to sign in that era Wale, J. Cole, Big Sean, Mike Posner, and was all of their first agents of record. And then have gone on my agencies to represent Logic and White Panda, which is now an artist named Griffin, and
Yeah.
Capital Cities and Action Bronson, and do early shows for Solange and Odd
Yeah.
Future, and from there had a really, really strong boutique talent agency that was known for breaking artists in an innovative way.
Golly.
Wow.
So if you didn't know before, now you know.
You know now.
Now you know. Straight like that. Exclamation mark.
Been in the business for about 15 years, and really been in the trenches on the ground floor with so many great artists, and now we're doing similar situation with big brands and starting brands that are coming up that need to get cool, and the way to do that in this day and age is to understand music and how music can make your brand stronger.
A lot stronger, yeah.
So how long do you see yourself staying in this type of business?
I'm an entrepreneur, and I think in this industry, you got to constantly be reinventing yourself and figuring out what's next. I think I love working. I love the business of music. I feel like I found a career that matches my personality and my passion points. So I don't think I'll ever not be connected to music, and I don't think I'll ever not be working. I just, will I be running this company versus working at a bigger company or working with a different company or managing different projects? I think I'm always going to be fluid and trying to, figure out what the next great idea is.
All right. So before we jump all the way into the new agency business, so just a little bit background. So like, where you from initially?
Yeah, originally I'm from Brooklyn.
Yo.
Shout out Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of got my start.
Yeah.
And then moved out to the suburbs when I was like 12
All right. So
and was out in Westchester out there. But where I really got like kind of first connected to music was when I was in Westchester. And I fell in love with hip hop, and just it resonated. It was amazing. It just changed my life. And then I started like throwing all the parties in my high school, and I realized that like what would make these parties cool was good music.
good music, great
And
music.
what would make these parties different? Sure, you needed interesting people, and you needed a vibe, and you needed alcohol or whatever libations were, but what was going to take it to that next level was a banging sound system and some really good tracks. So we started to put together music, and I just fell deeper in love with it. And then my girlfriend at the time, I was in high school, asked me, her father was a record executive, and I didn't really even know there was a business of music. I just was going to go into politics. But my girlfriend said, "Would you want to be in a Puff Daddy music video?" And so
Imagine.
when I was a senior in high school, I was dancing in "It's All About the Benjamins."
Oh yeah, we gotta check that
Yo.
out.
And it's shot in
no
like
way.
a quarry in New Jersey. It's shot from like 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. I got to meet Puff. I got to meet the Locks, Little Kim. I thought this was like the coolest thing in the world. It was like the hottest record on the radio.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, wow, they just paid me to, basically do what I would do any amount of money to do. And then when I got to college, it was just like I went to school in Wisconsin. People had never even like met somebody that was that connected to music and to hip hop like that. It was so cool.
That's crazy.
Damn.
He was so young too.
I mean,
To
it's,
get on, right?
Yeah.
that was just a lucky happenstance, like right place, right time, and you say yes. Sometimes people invite you to do things like even this, and you just say, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, let's rock. Let's rock
And
and roll.
so we did it. It was hectic out there in for a high school kid, and it was definitely just all sorts of different things happening on the scene. And Puffy was really paranoid at the moment, just because Biggie had just passed, and it was just it was a crazy time. But it didn't hit me then that I even wanted to be in the music business. It took a little longer
A little bit
until
more.
I was like, this is the most dynamic, amazing industry or opportunity in the world. And like, I still feel like that every day.
Every morning. Quick. So like, what took me back a little bit was like you said you got more into hip hop and music when you moved to Westchester as opposed to like when you were living in Brooklyn. What do you think was the difference in between, like, because you know somebody coming from Brooklyn, especially in that era, obviously, you know, music, boom, a main thing for you. So why was it till you moved to Westchester, more like, you know, suburb area, that it more played like?
I don't think it was the suburb area. I think it was more that I got a car.
Yeah.
And at that age, you know,
Yeah,
my friends got cars, and I was younger, but I was rolling with some kids that would like have the Biggie single or have these different tracks, and
Put
then
you
like
on.
once you're hearing Biggie and you're like, that's your first taste of music, you're like riding around in cars, this is the greatest shit.
Yeah.
And it just took off. It was an era where it was like Wu-Tang, and it was, you know, Biggie and all these amazing artists, and the West Coast was burgeoning, and it was just an era where I just felt like this was what I was meant to be listening to, and it just resonated with me. And when you're riding around in your car, and you know you're hitting up different spots, and you're being cool, and
Windows down.
that was the soundtrack.
Elbows out.
That was
hanging out. What
that
up?
was a soundtrack to my youth.
Damn.
So you got that type of music in that age period, and now you have the music that we have now. So how do you feel about, like, is it the still same beautiful music that you hear like you felt before, or is it like kind of a different vibe?
You know, I still love Rap Caviar. I still get the giggles when I listen to Funk Flex. You know, if I'm driving, I don't get to drive as much now that I live in New York, the city. But like, if I'm listening to Funk Flex, I'm pulling the car over. You know, like I might just need to. So
I know them days.
it's a different era of music because there's so much coming at you.
Yeah.
It's no longer like the era of Juicy and like that one classic that everybody knows the words to. It's like these songs just keep coming and coming and coming. So it's they're flushing you every week. 20,000 new songs or something drop on Spotify. 50,000 songs come out on YouTube. So how do you, like, I find a little less enjoyment out of really like soaking in one song versus like I like to try and see the new hot shit. So I'll comb every week 50 songs, and I'll spend 50 songs, and that'll be kind of like my musical diet. And then I'll save a couple
Oh, that's valid.
that I'll come back to.
That's definitely valid.
But it's not in the same way where like I could tell you every word to pretty much every Biggie, Pac song. You know, you live off of a CD album cover to cover. Now it's like
So much.
there's so much. There's so much. It's kind of just bits and pieces, and it's a different information overload. It's a different industry than the era of selling albums and LPs and CDs and where I came from.
So with all this music coming at you, being big in the music world, who is impressing you, right? Who do you have your eye on? Like, wow, who's impressed you these past couple of years or these last couple of months, or who's stand out in your mind to you right now in the music world?
I mean, I feel like whoever is going to stay consistently on top of the social graph
Definitely.
is got an amazing skill. I feel like if you can keep putting out records and you can like continue to remix and reinvent, it blows me away. I mean, it's Kanye, even though the content isn't resonating with me in the same way, the fact that like he gets the fact that you got to keep dropping music and keep dropping albums. There's a reason why he was the #1 earner this year on Forbes. And sure, the music might not be resonating, but he dropped 5 albums week after week. Yeah, he makes himself crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily want to be somebody that was like having to work
With him?
day in and day out with him.
I don't think he can retire though. In his contract, I don't think it allows him to retire. That's
So
another
take
thing,
your
too.
time. Why not?
I don't think he would want to. The guy
Yeah,
feels
nah,
like
that
he's
dude
got a
is
lot more creative in him.
Beastie.
Yeah.
It's just and
different.
even dropping these like 2 gospel albums, like he's putting them together, he's taking them down, he's making them in real time, he's changing songs. Like
Yeah.
this feels to me like the way music should be created
It
in
shows,
this
it
next
shows,
era.
It shows. Like,
And-
Staying relevant on top of
Yep.
things. Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, it's not like it's relevant in like a Roddy Ricch sort of way,
Yeah.
but he's definitely creating a new lane for himself and a new identity. And I feel like he reinvented his brand and he stopped a little bit of he was on a really bad run.
Terrible
And
run.
he was able to kind of prop himself back up and find center and gravity and God. And I don't think you can boo him right now. I think you kind of have to just see what he's going to do next. And that's where you want to be as a creator, right? Like at this day and age, you can't just put it up, leave it on the shelf and just think it's going to sit there and resonate.
Yeah.
You got to just keep hitting them and hitting them and
getting
hitting
better
them.
and better and better and better.
And so I think that he's doing it right. And then, yeah, I mean, again, there's just so much new music. Like, let's play some and we can vibe. I'll tell you if I like it or not.
Damn, what if it's trash? And it's like, damn,
You'll know.